Well, tomorrow the idea is to go and rock up outside David Cameron's constituency home. We'll be going to Manchester, Eccles, to Barton Moss, to show solidarity to the people who are out there campaigning against exploratory digging of fracking sites. We're just setting out around the UK, or rather around England, in 24 hours. Looking forward to what we're going to find. Stay with us. There's the people's voice in the distance. So here we are. This is myself and the lovely Deanna, both from People's Voice, and we're taking People's Voice out on the road. Stay with us. Stop. She looks gorgeous.
Oh, I hadn't got a clue, to be honest.
You look like you'd be exactly the kind of person I would need to...
He's got a pistol. Run, let's go.
I tell you what, you might... This might be the gentleman we're looking for. It is. It is just down here. Actually, I think it is,
He probably knows where he is.
Yes, he probably does. Thank you.
Wow, got his pistol there, that's it.
Are you Tony? Hello, Tony. I'm Sonia Poulton.
All right.
How are you?
Oh, fine, thanks.
Good, man. Listen, I'm gonna come and talk to you. We're sort of filming as we go along. Where is it safe to park up just there?
Oh, sure, yeah.
All right then.
It's lovely gentleman who's just brought me.
Oh, bless him. That's what we like.
Let Mr. Cameron don't get this off. You're busy either.
Wow.
Cheers. Yeah.
So that's one of David Cameron's security, presumably,
yeah.
and he's just brought you a cup of tea.
That's it.
Like that. Love that. Where's Mr. Cameron's house?
Oh, we've gone past it.
Have we gone past it?
Yeah.
Right.
Two steps.
All right.
Cameron went past. He's been past a few times. He went past a few days ago. He's like a girl. I was on the phone. I didn't
What,
even
he's
recognise.
walking?
He was walking. I didn't even recognise him.
When he walks, does he have his security with him?
Yeah. He walked past. I didn't recognise him.
It seems to me that this gentleman's not been given a fair hearing, and he should be given the opportunity to in court. He can't afford to pay barristers because the legal system seems to be stacked against him. So I think that something should be done about that. Trying to change the law is too long-winded for him to be able to have a fair voice in what in what's happening in his life. It's not fair. Small people need to be looked after. And I think the legal system should be providing him with assistance so that he could put his case forward.
And this is Sonia Poulton from the People's Voice as well. She's covering a lot of these injustices that are going on.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm just coming at the tail end of your conversation, and I pretty much echo everything you just said, really. And that is the reality of it. It's unfortunate that Tony has to be here at this time of the year, but clearly the need to
draw
highlight
attention
it.
to himself,
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's got to be
And he
done.
obviously wouldn't be doing it,
Right.
if he didn't have any other way of
Absolutely.
trying to.
Absolutely.
It seems to me to be wrong
Yeah.
that he can only see his children in a controlled environment,
Yes.
and he can't, be open and discuss things with them without fear of he's been threatened with them,
Yeah.
with his audiences, with his children being terminated if he says the wrong thing,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. So it doesn't seem right.
No, hardly any of these cases are right, but it links to a much bigger picture of the disparities that are going on as well. So, each of them in isolation don't appear to amount to much. Obviously they are, they're heartbreaking for the people involved, but when you look at it as a big picture and how many times Tony's situation is repeated over and over throughout the country, it's shocking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that. I only know about him
What
because
you've been-
we've been seeing him over the
Right.
Christmas period.
So, okay, well, we're in Dean in Oxfordshire, and this is Tony. And And Tony is here. And how many days have you been here for, Tony?
10 days.
Tony's been here for 10 days. You've also been hunger striking as
Yes.
well, I believe. Are you still striking?
I'm stopping tonight. So
Good, because we've got some rolls that we want to leave with you and make sure you have something to eat, okay? And we've got various little bits and bobs. But Tony's here because he wants to raise awareness, not only to his own particular situation, which is the fact that his 2 daughters are currently in foster care and they've been separated, which is an absolute no-no. Because if children are in foster care, then the least that really should happen, the very least, is that they should do everything they can to try and keep children together. And obviously Tony wants to raise awareness to that. He wants to raise awareness, presumably, to the whole issue. There's a lovely policeman out there. Now, turn around, Lee, you can see this policeman there who's just come out with his gun and various bits and bobs. They've come out just to check it out now. That's absolutely fine. So we're doing absolutely nothing wrong. We're still in the country lane, and I'm talking to Tony, as I'm perfectly entitled to in a free world, aren't I, Tony? Should we walk back up?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Come on then, and we might even get a word with him actually. And
Has he got children?
yeah, well, it'd be interesting, wouldn't it? But so basically, there's a couple now, and so basically, the idea is that Tony wants to raise awareness for what's going on for children being stolen by the state, including the recent case of the young Italian mother who was forced to have a caesarean and her child forcibly removed from her. So none of that was pleasant.
She was drugged as well, wasn't she?
She was drugged as well. Yes, she was. Morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Have you come out to check us?
Just doing our patrol.
That's fair enough. Would you like to know what we're doing?
If you were going to volunteer as the
I am
information.
going to volunteer the information because I'm that kind of transparent person. I'm a journalist, and I've come here because I'm very much involved in writing and broadcasting about issues to do with children who are forcibly adopted. And Tony, I don't know if you're aware of his situation, why he's here. Well, that's why I'm here. I'm here to highlight what's going on.
That's fine.
And that's why we've come. And as you can see, camera, they didn't force it out of me. I gave up that information because I was happy to do that. So we're just having a little wander, aren't we, Tony?
Oh, yeah.
Tony's telling me what's going on. So are you here all day?
We are indeed.
Is Mr. Cameron in residence?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Because I really, just as a sort of citizen of this country, I'd love to know what he thinks about what Tony's doing. Any idea?
I have no idea. I can't comment on that.
You can't comment on that. Okay, fair enough. Right, should we go? All right, then let's go. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year. Check out thepeoplesvoice.tv. The truth's there. You're welcome.
Right. Anyway, so, so the children, were you with, because I think some of the information that I read was, because obviously what that gentleman in the car was saying to us before was you never can tell what the cases are about,
True,
who's
yeah.
doing what, any of that situation. You could be anybody, couldn't you? You could have been the worst father in the world, but it still doesn't alter the fact that you and your children deserve to have this in an open court.
That's correct. It's the open court.
Yes.
Isn't it? If
Yes.
we've got the open courts, then justice can be seen to be done, can't
Yes,
it?
exactly.
I don't want
And it's the secrecy of the family courts that is the big problem, isn't it, Tony?
Yeah. I thought about this long and hard before. When we had different protesters here, because obviously somebody was going to take over from me. And we're not here to judge anybody's case,
No.
but we're saying that the system's corrupt.
Yes.
It's a ring-fence the system,
Yes.
so that nobody can penetrate
Yes.
it and find out what's going on.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you, and that's why I'm here. I'm here because, one, it's my job as a journalist to look at the stories that the mainstream are not covering. We've just come from Oxfordshire. We're now in Gloucestershire, making our way cross country up and down it. It's still New Year's Eve. Here comes one of those speed cameras. Stealth tax. That's all it is.
Try, would you let me still believe you're beautiful?
Well, we're halfway on our journey now, and look where we've just stopped. Harrow Road in Leicester, not Harrow Road Wembley, Harrow Road Leicester. So that to me is a symbolism. We're all just going to have something to eat, and we're heading up to Manchester. we're just pulling up to Barton in Manchester, site of quite major exploratory drilling rather, for fracking. Here's some protesters. Here they are. They're all camped out. Say hello. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hi guys.
Well, we've come from People's Voice TV. We decided just to come down, show some solidarity and be here, really.
Come and have a drink.
We will do. Nice one. Thank you. We're going to park up, okay?
In the Geodome up there, there's music, so if you want to go party.
Cool.
No,
We're filmmakers.
No, we're going to park up. We're going to park up here, okay? We had to come up here. We had to, because if there's kind of the heart of protesting in the UK right now, it's here.
This might interest you, this place here.
Yeah, what's this?
This is a children's prison.
Oh, God.
This is,
For the boys.
you know the boys who killed Jamie Bowles? Jamie Bowles put in there. That is a secure children's unit. This is real common purpose bullshit, this is.
No doubt privatised as well.
It probably is now, yeah. It's still for, they're building extensions. Why are they building an extension on a children's home?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is secret courts and all this sort
You know
of
what?
thing.
God knows what goes on in there.
You know it, mate. You know there's abuse. That is child abuse there. From there. So we should take you down. Should we take Sonia down to the camp?
You've not been down there?
No, not really. Well, we kind of walked.
Came here to look for you,
Yeah,
you
we came
guys.
to look for you.
Oh,
let's go and say hello.
Yeah?
Some inspiration into the situation, so I brought my mate Jamie up.
You'll meet him in a minute. He's down here.
Well, let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go. It's easy.
he locked onto one of the lorries yesterday when we had a 17
I
lorry
saw
convoy.
that. Didn't he get
Yeah.
arrested?
Yeah, he did, but he's
Okay.
back. We've just picked him up this morning.
Was there-
Yeah.
My God. You might want to introduce yourself to
I'm
TVV cameras.
Yeah, I'm Kenny Lloyd, True Ferret Films. Kenny True Ferret. That over there is Ross, who's my
Oh, hello.
partner, my best friend. And yeah, I spoke to Sonia the other week about fracking
On the People's Voice.
on the People's Voice. Brilliant show. Watch it if you don't watch it already. I watch it every day. We do. We're careful. That's the thing. Now this is a ditch here where the man got pushed into. The other week he broke his femur.
Right.
And where is he? You got Jamie?
Sonia.
So this is friend.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, bless you.
Well, I'm amazed. Jamie!
Oh, I'm so I have to
Wonderful.
say, for the People's Voice benefit, this lady is an absolute legend in protesting.
Humble,
so
humble.
absolute legend.
Humble, mate.
I'm so happy to meet you, Francis. I really am. Bless you, darling. Lovely to meet you. We decided to come up. We thought that we really need to come to a bit of solidarity. Really, we've been around the country today. We went to David Cameron's. It doesn't matter.
Mum, I have gloves.
No, don't worry, darling. I'm absolutely fine. We went to David Cameron's house, and I'm so happy to see you here. I didn't realise you were going to be here. Bless you, because I didn't think you were well, actually.
Well, I wasn't, and then I got better, so I came back on the 19th, and I'm stopping till the 8th. And it's a privilege.
Oh!
It is.
Of course it is. We all take it.
Oh no, please don't say that. I'll just
No,
get rid of it.
it is an absolute privilege.
Isn't it lovely? It's
I'm
beautiful.
happy to be
What a
here.
beautiful time.
We made our New Year.
What a beautiful way to finish the year, eh?
Yeah.
What a really, really beautiful
Well,
year.
Really wonderful
Oh.
thing
We
to do.
won't be anywhere else now. We decided we're coming up and that's it.
She's come up here to show a bit of solidarity with the Barton crew. So, Happy New Year, everybody.
You're going out on People's Voice International TV.
She's not just a TV personality. She's a brilliant, absolutely brilliant journalist. She's free to say exactly what she wants.
Absolutely.
And that is a fantastic situation for any journalist.
We kind of felt for you all, really, that you've all been up here, and we just felt that we just wanted to come up and just say hi. Hi. Hello.
2014, what are you seeing?
Well, you know, we say this a lot, but I believe 2014 is the year of the people, quite honestly. You know, both my daughter and my friends, we say it constantly because I think that we've reached a stage now where people, we know about great materialism, we know about finance, we know that the only thing that money solves is monetary problems. And at the end of the day, you have to return back to people. And I do think that we stand a greater chance of that now. You know, we have to get rid of a lot of nonsense. You know, there's a lot of infighting that takes place in these situations. Yeah? And it's not good, it's not healthy, because it's very divisive. Okay?
Many people talk about revolution. Do you see that?
I'm talking about a revolution that needs to take place, which is about your entire being. And because as I say, even in situations like this where people are supposedly right-minded and right-hearted, there is division and squabbling. And what people have to do is they have to put their egos aside for the greater purpose. And that happens in all situations. And so that's what troubles me. I don't like politics, and one of the reasons I don't like politics is it's full of politicians. So I think we need less politics and we need more heartfelt actions. That's the kind of revolution that we need to take place. And I do have great admiration for the people here. You know, I don't really know many people here. I know Francis, I know Truth Ferret people, and you know, but I still have great admiration for what it takes, because at the end of the day, you're prepared to be out here, you know, on New Year's Eve. Yeah, and that's why we're here, really. But let me ask you, what are you doing up here?
Go on, Tim.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. It's more about being. Like, what I really liked about what you said was when you said that revolution was something that involved your entire being. So the being aspect of it, for me personally, is like when you just stand for something, when you just put your life at standstill and you go, no, I'm standing on this truth. I'm going to put my whole energy into this truth,
Jamie?
on whatever level it is.
Where's Jamie?
But I'm going to do that. And that's what I'm doing.
Explain to me what it's about.
What it's about basically is on the line a couple of weeks ago, Friday it was basically police intimidation, where they snatch people out. Basically, if they were walking too slow or doing virtually nothing, they pushed one man into a ditch and broke his leg. And the song I actually wrote in the lay-by at the end, about 3 hours after it all happened.
Well, let me read you some of the lyrics from this. Jack boots pounding, intimidation time, keep it moving, hold the line, nice and slow, it ain't no crime, intimidation time.
Like, I've been on 3 lines up to now, and basically it's the intimidation, like, especially the people what camp here day in, day out.
Right.
They seem to get from the police.
And where are the police tonight? Because they're noticeably absent, aren't they? Which is...
I couldn't answer. I have no idea.
Have they been here today?
I've not been here myself today. You'll have to ask some of the regulars.
All right, I will do. But thank you. Can I keep this?
Can keep
Thank you. Thanks ever so much. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Please. You're Boris.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're...
Colin.
Boris and Colin. How long have
good
you been
evening.
up here? Lovely to meet you. I'm Sonia. Nice to meet you. I don't really do handshakes. I'm more of a huggy kind of person. Really.
well, we'll do a hug.
But I'll give you a hug. There you go.
That's a nice warm hug.
Nice one.
Tim?
There you go. Right. So how long have you been up here?
I arrived about 2.5 weeks ago, just flying visit, only intended to stay for 3 or 4 days.
Right.
But then it kind of sucked us in, as it does.
Right.
You know, you want to be careful.
Right. Okay, I've got dead.
Boris here is a longer term member of the community.
Yeah, been here almost 6 weeks now.
6 weeks. And camping out constantly for 6 weeks.
No, but constantly bonfire.
Right. So you've seen quite a lot of the life that's going on here, haven't you? And one of the things that interests me is there are no police around tonight, which I think is really interesting on New Year's Eve. So
It is indeed.
So what do you make of that? Because I take it that is there a regular police presence?
No, I believe it's already obvious to me that the police here is only when it's obvious that it is here to protect corporate interests.
Right. So when are the police here?
When the lorries are being delivered, so that's the day when we see 200 police officers on site, 20 vans,
Right.
15-20 vans near the stadium, right vans being parked
And when was the last time that was delivered?
yesterday.
Right, and they were all here yesterday.
Yeah.
And they're not here today, and there's been no deliveries today.
No.
I think that's quite an interesting conclusion.
It is.
Really,
We
isn't
had
it?
solidarity day with trade unions on
Right.
Sunday,
Right.
and there were just 3 police officers dressed as civilians. So
Right.
there were 200 people and 3 police officers dressed as civilians.
Right. And how have you found the police in general? Because you're saying, as far as you're concerned, they're here purely to protect corporate interests.
Definitely, yeah. Nothing
Right.
else.
And how have you found their attitude towards the protesters?
Activists.
Yeah, towards the activists. Fair point. Yeah. What? Just explain to me what's the distinction for you?
Well, actually, a lot of people who are standing here, we are calling ourselves protectors.
Protectors.
Yes.
Okay.
Protesters are people who normally go to the town centre with the banners.
Right.
We're here to stop the lorries, to stop the
Yes.
crime happening. We're doing the
Yes.
policing work here.
Right.
And we perceive the police as the crime facilitators.
Right.
So they are here to protect corporate interests.
I mean, the thing is, if you genuinely...
So we don't need any banners here.
No,
We're here. If
I
it was
hear
up
what
to
you're
the
saying.
police, the lorries wouldn't
Right.
go onto the site.
So as protectors, do you feel that you have a civil duty perhaps to issue something of some kind of civil arrest? Because you're saying that they're conducting
Yes.
a crime.
That's right, yes.
So any plans to do that?
Civil arrest,
Yeah.
yes. At the moment we are informing them that we're taking a legal action against the police, the Greater Manchester Police.
Right.
We want to get an injunction for them not to be on this road, this public footpath.
Right.
Papers have been served on the Greater Manchester Police, and
yes,
there is a
yes,
court
the
hearing on the 6th of January.
It's so Monday.
Because a complication in this situation is we're actually on private land. It's a private road.
This is a
We're on
public
private land.
footpath.
It happens to have a time-honoured public footpath running right down the middle of the road. So the police, there's one school of thought, and will remain to see how that's backed up or not, that says the police are engaging in highly unlawful activity, policing the situation in the way they are.
Right.
You know, the jury's out.
Yes, it is. I'd be very interested. I will leave my contact details. I'd be very interested to know what they say, because, you know, there comes a point when you can challenge law if you know what you're talking about. And a lot of the time, the laws that are being imposed against us are illegal in the first place anyway. So if you know your wherewithal around them, you stand a good chance. I mean, but as you said, there's a time-honoured tradition of this being a public right-of-way. So there's that issue attached to it already. But I think it's very interesting because, you know, the fact that you sort of describe yourself as protectors, very interesting. And that's why I said, you know, is this going to become a legal issue? Because clearly to me, that then follows, it should become a legal issue, you know. And even the fact that surely, if the police were here to protect you, they'd be here right now. Yeah. And there is nobody here right now. I can absolutely testify, I've not seen one policeman or woman since we've arrived. So I think what Boris is saying has a great deal of validity to it. So Jamie, you, as they're saying, are the man of the moment. Could you explain why this is? What happened today?
I don't like being the man at the moment. I just did what I had to do.
Run with it and enjoy it.
It goes with the job.
I looked onto lorries this evening. I've heard about breaks in the police defence of lorries. I was at Barton for 6 weeks. Right. It was heavily protected by the police, unsurprisingly. It was quite heavy-handed at times in here. There was huge gaps. I'd heard about this. I was getting a mischievous itch, as I put it. I was only been here a day. I've walked to the lorries in. I found some equipment, and I saw a break in the line. I've walked around the lorry a few times. I wish I could have been on top of the lorry, or something made it more difficult, made it a longer lock-on, but it was what it was. And I put the D-lock through some rungs on the side of the lorry and flipped it around my neck. It was an easy thing to slip into.
Okay. Now, I mean, just like from a health and safety perspective, that sounds
stupid.
really dangerous.
Yeah.
Were you not worried about your own personal safety, or did that just fly out the window? What was going through your mind when you were doing that?
Locking on. That
Just
was the only
that,
thing,
because
the lorry
you wanted
was...
to do what? You wanted to just stop them as much as you humanly could?
Personally, I wanted to stop them. I believe direct action is the only way we're going to get heard. And I'd heard stories about the place here, and I didn't feel there was enough direct action happening. So my morals coming up here was, I'll see what happens, I'll have a look at the site, I'll plan something, I'll come back. Right. It turned out that something happened that day. My objective was to, although I was there an hour and a half, I was a far rather it had been a longer lock-on, but I stopped the lorries for an hour and a half, and my main objective was to try and inspire people at Barton. It's easy.
Yeah.
If you see an opportunity, take that opportunity. If I take an action, I feel action should be strong countrywide right now. I don't believe in holding back. No. It infuriates me when people want to try and say, but you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do that. This is everyone should be on the streets right now. I wish people could snap and wake up, be infuriated.
I mean, you know, I'm well, obviously, because now what we're getting in is the gagging clause and various other things that are going to start to kick in 2014 anyway. And what people don't realise is our rights have already been eroded. They don't realise that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, what you're doing is really no more illegal than the illegal laws that are being imposed on you in the first place anyway. So, you know,
Be an
but
honest
really,
reporter.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's, thank you.
So that was our New Year's Eve. We were out and about meeting people who were making a positive difference to this glorious world of ours. The question is, what are you going to do to make that difference too?